My birthday was about a month ago, so I figured that in celebration of me turning 22 years old, I'd go through my favorite films from each year that I've been alive. It's been a very cool lifetime, and a lot of my life has been dedicated to being a loser and watching movies alone in my room while my friends are outside partying all night long. And I know some may have their opinions on my choices, but still, I love movies. Movies have been a great part of my life, and today that's what I'll be going through. So, my favorite movies from each year that I've been alive. I won't waste too much time. We're just going to go ahead and start diving right into it. So, starting off with 2004, that's the year that I was born. It was actually a great year for film. I mean, I'm glad that I was born into such a generational year when it comes to movies, but I think my favorite, and I just rewatched this film a couple days ago, it is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I know it's kind of a cliche film bro pick, and a spoiler alert, a lot of this list is just cliche film bro movies, but still, it's well deserved. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is just one of the best kind of one-hit wonder director movies ever in the history of film. It's so good. It is a perfect movie. If you're looking to try to start diving into films, then watch this one. And also Jim Carrey giving maybe his best work ever in his entire career. If someone ever tells me that Jim Carrey is just a dumb comedic actor, then I would show them Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and prove them wrong almost instantly. And my runner-ups for 2004 is Before Sunset and also The Incredibles. Next up, going into 2005, I do have Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Once again, I told you this list would be filled with a lot of film bro picks, and that's exactly what it is here. Revenge of the Sith is just one of the best finales to a trilogy ever in film history. And I got a chance to see this last year in theaters, which was incredible to see that in a packed theater with fans. It was awesome. But looking at 2005, it was a great year for films, but nothing came close to what Revenge of the Sith was able to do. It's an incredible film. And my runner-ups for this year, for 2005, are Batman Begins and Pride and Prejudice. And I'm moving on into 2006. My pick for this year is a little bit of a curveball, but it's going to be DreamWorks Over the Hedge. And there's a lot I can do in terms of explaining why I chose to have this film as my favorite. But, I'll save that for another day. If you know, you know. If you know me in real life, then you know just how obsessed I am over the Hedge. My entire career, not even just podcasting, but I think in life, my entire life wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for Over the Hedge. To the Over the Hedge community, the community is strong. I'm here with you. I stand with you. And we're going to go on for a very long time. So Over the Hedge, my favorite from 2006. I'll explain it another day. But my runner-ups for this year, 2006, is The Departed from Scorsese, incredible film, and also The Prestige from my GOAT, Christopher Nolan. And 2007 is another year that had a lot of great films, and another animated film for my favorite is Ratatouille from Pixar. Maybe the best Pixar movie is Ratatouille. This film is incredible. I love food. Something about a rat hiding under a chef coat hat. It's something very special and unique about it. I recently watched Zootopia 2 for the first time in theaters. A very light spoiler. There's a Ratatouille reference in Zootopia 2, and I absolutely adored that. I love this film so much. I obsess over it. I wrote an essay about Ratatouille for fun a couple years back. Really weird thing to do, but I just love that movie that much. And for 2007, my runner-ups are No Country for Old Men and also Transformers from Michael Bay. Going on into 2008, it does continue with the film bro picks, but The Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan is my favorite film from 2008. And I can hear the eye rolls. I can hear the unsubscriptions happening right now. But it's The Dark Knight. I understand it's a cliche pick, but it's cliche for a reason. It's considered a normie pick for a reason. I understand we're in a very subjective industry, but The Dark Knight, I think, objectively is one of the greatest pieces of art ever. It is a perfect film. Heath Ledger is incredible. The Hans Zimmer score is awesome. I feel like this may have been the blueprint for a lot of not only comic book films, but also action films and dramas that we see today. The Dark Knight, It's incredible. It's a classic. It's iconic. It's deserving of being my favorite. And my runner-ups for this year, for 2008, are Speed Racer, an incredible, visually insane movie, and also Wall-E, which I have on Criterion. That was a gift that I got a while ago. I love that gift. To the person who gave it to me, you know who you are. Thank you for that. And now moving on to 2009, it does go to Wes Anderson's, maybe his best movie, Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is one of my first episodes ever, definitely in need of a remaster on my part, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is that kind of movie. I love it a lot. I think about it a lot. Movies that I really obsess over and think about constantly. It's this one, definitely for one of them. From the incredible stop motion animation, the incredible quality, the cinematography, all of those very nice warm tones is really good. And also thematically, to the incredible character themes and analysis of all of those kind of emotions in this movie. It's very, very well done. Wes Anderson, thank you. And my runner-ups for 2009 do go to Inglourious Basterds and also Coraline. Going into 2010, another just incredible year. A lot of my favorite movies ever are in this year, and I have 3 films that I gave all of them 5 out of 5, but only one of them I consider to be one of the best screenplays ever made in film history, and that goes to The Social Network. Maybe David Fincher's best work ever. It's so iconic and classic, a very definitive, instant classic, American classic movie. The Social Network is incredible, from the incredible acting from Andrew Garfield to Jesse Eisenberg, even Armie Hammer before we all feared him of being able to eat us. It was incredible. This is an absolutely superb, fantastic cliche again, but cliche for a reason. The Social Network really is that good of a movie. From the structure and the pacing, I haven't seen a movie do it this good in a very long time. And my runner-ups for 2010 go to Inception and also Incendies from Denis Villeneuve and also Christopher Nolan for Inception. 2 goats there doing incredible, incredible stuff. And for 2011, I do have a movie that I think that this is one of the theater experiences that I remember very just descriptively. I remember everything about going to see Transformers Dark of the Moon in theaters as a little kid in elementary school. This is incredible. Dark of the Moon, even to this day, when I was watching it when I was a wee little lad to even now at 22 years old, I have to admit that Dark of the Moon is one of the best pieces of sci-fi ever in film history. It is. I hate to say it. I hate to hop on the hype train and, sound like a film bro, but Dark of the Moon truly is that special. This is just that kind of movie, and especially if you watch the first and second Transformers movies, then seeing it all compile into this one, nothing else like it ever. The 4th and 5th Transformers movies, it was a miss, and we may never get Shia LaBeouf ever in a movie again, not even just Transformers, because of him doing what he's done. But still, an immense thank you to Michael Bay for constructing these movies. These movies are my childhood. These movies made me fall in love with cinema, and I will be forever in Michael Bay's debt for what he's done with all these films, but specifically with Dark of the Moon. And my runner-ups for 2011 do go to Drive and also Kung Fu Panda 2. 2012, now we go on to, and this is another year where I had another movie that I remember seeing in theaters so descriptively, but for my favorite film for 2012, it goes to The Amazing Spider-Man. And I understand all of the critiques, all the hate, all of the, this, that, and the third. This is my Spider-Man. This is my Spider-Man. I understand. If you want to argue, Tobey Maguire is better, I would probably agree. But this is my Spider-Man. And I love it a lot. This is just another movie that I remember seeing it in theaters. It was a very kind of old independent theater that I used to go to a lot. And this movie just stuck with me ever since. From the music to the costume design, the Spider-Man suit in here isn't that good, but it kind of grew on me. And it really did have a lasting impact on my life. And I truly will forever adore this movie. And my runner-ups for 2012 do go to The Hunt and also Django Unchained. And now for 2013, the same case, the same instance that I just made where I said that Andrew Garfield is my Spider-Man. This is my Spider-Man movie. Well, for 2013, Man of Steel is my favorite film from that year. The one that I've watched the most of and the one that I really do adore. And once again, if you want to tell me, Logan, this is a bad Superman movie, I would agree. I made that argument. Well, not the argument. I would agree that last year I had the episode where I said that Man of Steel is a bad Superman movie. It's a good movie, but in terms of being a Superman movie, it's awful. And I would agree with that. And Henry Cavill may not be the best, but he's still my Superman. Man of Steel is still my Superman movie, and I will forever adore it. From the incredible directing from Zack Snyder, we still can look at what he did with DC and take some inspiration from it when it comes to applying it to future comic book films. And the incredible score from Hans Zimmer is absolutely superb. And Henry Cavill played Superman not the way, well, he didn't play him in a certain way. He was given a script, and that script had Superman portrayed in a certain light, and he played that very well. And my runner-ups for 2013 do go to The Wolf of Wall Street and also Prisoners. And now moving on into another just generational year for film, 2014, I have Interstellar. And I know, once again, it's the classic cliche film bro answer, Interstellar, The Dark Knight. These are the only films any film bro actually knows. Look, I've seen a lot of different movies, but Interstellar is Interstellar. I saw Interstellar in IMAX when it got a re-release a couple years back. And this movie still, to this day, is that kind of movie. I feel like we haven't gotten a true sci-fi, space opera, space odyssey level movie like this, and with this kind of quality, it doesn't happen that much. I can really only think of maybe with Dune and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Those are the only two ones I could think are like really closely related to what this film is doing. But still, with what Nolan did with Interstellar, this is a modern, instant American classic off rip immediately. From the incredible, insane visuals from Hoytema and the incredible VFX crew, to the just beautiful, iconic score from Hans Zimmer, and the great directing from Christopher Nolan, the incredible acting from Matthew McConaughey, it's just that level of perfection in filmmaking that we may never see again done this well. We see a lot of great movies here and there, but this is just incredibly special. Interstellar, my clear number one. But my runner-ups do go to Whiplash and also The Grand Budapest Hotel. And now next for 2015 is actually a movie that I watched a little bit recently for the first time. In terms of this is my all-time favorites. I watched this film a little bit recently, but Mad Max Fury Road is one of the greatest action films ever made. Dark of the Moon and The Dark Knight are still really good action films, but I think that Mad Max Fury Road might just be the greatest action film ever made. I haven't seen a movie that looks like Fury Road or feels like Fury Road ever in my life. And this film is about 10 years old, and it still looks and feels insane. This is just that kind of movie. And, I never really felt the hype until now. I never saw it in theaters when it came out, and I always see the hype around the movie. But I didn't think it was this good, but it surely is that good of a movie. Fury Road is incredible. The entire Mad Max saga, I feel like really culminating into this movie. And also with Furiosa, that was a great film also. But with Fury Road, it does feel like just a love letter and a homage to the incredible Mad Max universe. And also just finally seeing him be able to execute this vision on this scale. It's everything. It's truly, truly special. I love Fury Road. I know we're supposed to be getting some kind of Fury Road sequel eventually, but who knows? My runner-ups for 2015 do go to Sicario and also Inside Out. And now for 2016, it's actually kind of tough for me. I have a lot of favorites in this year, but I think for 2016, I might regret it later, but number one for 2016 is going to be La La Land. It's hard, but a while back, I think in 2022 through 2023, I'll say that's maybe the range that it was. If someone asked me, Logan, what's your favorite movie of all time, I would tell them it's La La Land. For a while, that's what it was, but it's not that anymore. I think at this point, I don't have a favorite movie of all time anymore, but still, for a while, it was La La Land. From the incredible production design, it's a musical. The music is great in La La Land. Cinematography is great. The score from Justin Hurwitz is iconic and great as well. The romance. I consider this movie to be the best romance film ever made of all time. It is generational. It is really, really good. It is a 5 out of 5, perfect movie. It's also the youngest Oscar win for a director ever in Oscar history. It was great. It's a really good movie. 5 out of 5, perfection. I love it. And my number 2 is Moonlight, and I know Moonlight won Best Picture over this. Moonlight, I watched it recently. It's also still a 5 out of 5, but it's just not number 1 for me anymore. And also Arrival, I have as my runner-up for 2016 as well. All incredible films, but they just weren't up there like that for me. And I'm moving on to another generational year with 2017. It does go to Blade Runner 2049. And again, I hear it right now. Oh my gosh, this guy is so cliche. He's such a film bro. I know. But, I mean, what? It's just so crazy to me. Like, watching Blade Runner 2049. It's a legacy sequel. This movie shouldn't work in any facet. You know, we've seen a lot of legacy sequels in the past, and a lot of them don't work. But Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original. The visuals are insane. It's actually going out of its way to do something interesting, to make an actual sequel to an incredible film and make it better than the original with an incredible story, incredible score from Hans Zimmer, incredible visuals, incredible directing from Denis Villeneuve, incredible subtle acting from Ryan Gosling, incredible performance from Harrison Ford. Also, not making Harrison Ford the center point and kind of like clickbait of the movie. It's not that at all. It's so beautiful and special, and the way it explores the universe even more, the lore of it all, it's great. This is just that kind of movie, and deservedly so. It's my number 1. My number 2 for this year, 2017, does go to Call Me By Your Name, and my number 3 does go to Logan, which is pretty fitting. I love that film also. And now for 2018, it did feel kind of weird not mentioning an MCU film for this long, but I had to kind of hold it out for The Incredible Infinity War. This is my favorite movie from 2018. It's one of the best pieces of film ever, I think. I mean, truly, you know, whatever Scorsese says, but this movie, what this film did, this movie sparked the entire cinematic universe trend and did it very well also. But being able to cap off a 10-year cinematic journey with this movie, having all these different characters and plot lines and dialogue, having it all come together in one movie and making it work and actually sticking the landing as well, it's incredible. It shouldn't have happened. I mean, this movie shouldn't have worked, but somehow they did. It's actually a miracle that Infinity War worked and it was this good, but it is this good, and it's my favorite. My runner-ups for 2018 do go to Into the Spider-Verse, another great movie, and also First Man from Damien Chazelle. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If you know First Man, then you know ball. But if you don't, it's okay. Now moving on into 2019. And 2019, and you've heard it a lot, and I'll say it here also, that this is the best year for film ever. I'll get out the way right now. Yeah, 2019 was insane. I mean, the fact that we got that many movies from that many iconic directors. I mean, we got Joker, we got Midsommar, an incredible horror classic. We got Knives Out. We got Little Women being readapted incredibly well. We got Tarantino giving us what a lot of people would consider his best film ever. We got Endgame, a 3-hour comic book movie epic. It's insane. We got Uncut Gems. We got 1917. We got Marriage Story. We got It Chapter 2 was terrible, but still, it came out this year. We got the end of the Star Wars saga with a terrible movie, but it still came out that year. We got Toy Story 4. We got the end of the How to Train Your Dragon story with The Hidden World. We got the incredible movie Glass, which was also really good, but only one movie was, I mean, you know what it is already. It's going to be Parasite. You know what it is. It's whatever. Parasite was incredible. Parasite is perfect. Parasite was just that kind of movie. The first foreign film to win the Best Picture award. Enough's been said about Parasite. If you haven't seen Parasite, or if you're, for some reason, questioning why is Parasite so good, then watch it. If you've seen it, then watch it again, and you'll figure out why. And my runner-ups for 2019 do go to Little Women from Greta Gerwig and also Avengers Endgame from the Russo brothers. And now moving on into 2020, which we went from an incredible peak year for filmmaking all the way down to maybe the worst year ever for film, because we almost lost the entire industry of movies and also cinema going. The theater experience almost gone completely in one single year for reasons that we all know why. So a lot of movies came out this year still. A lot of movies still were also pushed back, but still we had a great year for films. And the one movie that I never got a chance to see actually in theaters, but I saw it in theaters a couple years ago now, was Tenet for Christopher Nolan. This movie is incredible. If you haven't seen Tenet in theaters, I saw it on an incredible, huge IMAX screen. I never got a chance to see it because of COVID, but still, Tenet in theaters and IMAX is one of my favorite cinematic experiences ever. It is a completely different movie if you watch it at home on your 20-inch TV versus a massive IMAX screen. It's completely different. It's just a completely different movie just because of that one incredible, gracious format. And my runner-ups for 2020 do go to Soul and also Minari, a couple of also incredible movies. And now moving on to 2021, this industry of film was still at a little bit of a weird point, but still, my favorite movie from that year, from 2021, I saw it in IMAX, was Dune Part 1. And that's when I think my true obsession and kind of weird obsession of Denis Villeneuve and also Dune, that's where it really began. And yeah, it's incredible. Seeing it in IMAX was incredible. I understand the critiques that this movie is slow and boring. You don't know film if you say that, but whatever. Dune Part 1 is incredible. From the incredible quiet visual storytelling, the great sound design, the great directing and acting, the score from Hans Zimmer is unlike any other. And I truly adore this world that Denis Villeneuve built, and it is absolutely breathtaking and incredible. And my runner-ups for 2021 are number 2, Zack Snyder Cut Justice League was incredible, and also number 3 is The French Dispatch, an incredible film. Watched for the first time recently. I truly adore it. Now moving on to 2022, this is just about the industry's back to normal, and also I graduated high school in 2022, so that was kind of cool to finally be out of that prison. But 2022, my favorite movie from that year was Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is still my favorite A24 film. It is absolutely perfect. Being able to have such a massive multiverse movie, it's still the best multiverse movie ever. That's also the truth. But being able to have such a massive scale of a film and still being able to tie in such a small and intimate drama as well is what makes this movie for me just so perfect. And there was a lot of great movies that came out in 2022. I mean, we had the Batman as well, but I still think that this is the best movie from that year. And my runner-ups do go to Aftersun and also Babylon, a couple of other just incredible movies. But still, my number one is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now going into 2023, another year that I think was a very just fantastic year for film also. But my favorite movie from 2023 is still Oppenheimer. That's still my number one. I saw it in IMAX. The incredible Barbenheimer experience was one of the best things ever, I think, in the history of man. And I mean that so genuinely. Seeing people in the theater wearing suits and also wearing all pink, that weekend was just so surreal, so euphoric. It was so special. I miss that era of life, but Oppenheimer, still my favorite movie of all time. Oh, nope, that's a lie. I'm sorry. My favorite movie from 2023 is Oppenheimer still. It's not my favorite Nolan, but it's in the top 3 or 4. And still, incredible from the directing, cinematography. This is his magnum opus of a movie, and a already just magnum opus filmography and career. Oppenheimer was still just absolutely insane. Will he be able to live up to what the Odyssey is and kind of live up to bouncing off of Oppenheimer? We'll have to see. I'm very concerned these days, but, what happens is what happens. So, my runner-ups for 2023 are Past Lives and also Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now going into 2024, you already know what it is, Dune Part 2. This is one of the best pieces of film ever, one of the best sci-fi films of all time. I saw this movie 3 times in theaters. I saw it 2 times in the same weekend. I saw it twice on IMAX and also once in Dolby. This is one of the best pieces of art ever. This is better than Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I can go on even further. It's better than your favorite franchise, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I know I'm going to get a lot of death threats over this, but I do mean it, that Dune Part 2 is one of the best things ever, and it is better than your favorite movie. And my runner-ups for 2024 do go to Challengers and also The Brutalist. And now we're back up to 2025. Luckily, 2025 is now all gone and over. And my favorite from that year it's still the same. It's still one battle after another. It is a perfect 5 out of 5 movie. Rewatched it on my birthday, gave it 5 out of 5, well deserved. And not much that I need to say that hasn't already been said. I did a full review for it. You can listen to that. You can listen to my top 10 breakdown from 2025 also. It hasn't changed that much. So, yeah. And my runner-ups from 2025 do go to Sinners and also Marty Supreme. And for my favorite movie of 2026 is not really there yet. There's still a lot of movies that come out that I haven't seen yet. I'm recording this as of right now. It is March 7th. So we haven't even gotten Project Hail Mary. We haven't gotten The Odyssey. We haven't gotten Godzilla Minus Zero. We haven't gotten Spider-Man. We haven't gotten Avengers Doomsday. We haven't gotten Dune Part 3. We haven't gotten insert the most anticipated of my year list here. And it hasn't come out yet. So the only 2 films that I've seen in 2026 are The People We Meet on Vacation, that's a Netflix original, and also The Rip, which is starring Ben Affleck and also Matt Damon. So, yeah, earlier in the year, there's, no good movies that come out. But still, if I'm being technical, and if I have to continue this and finish this episode out, I would say that as of March 7th, 2026, at 6 p.m., I would say my favorite movie of this year right now is The People We Meet on Vacation, because I gave it 7 out of 10, which is higher than The Rip. So, yeah, that's it. That's my list. And let me know what I got right or wrong here. And 2026, I'm going to come back to this a little bit later. This is not my favorite film of the year. But yeah, as it stands, so weird to say. But yeah, The People We Meet on Vacation, the Netflix original film, is the best film I've seen all year. It's one of the 2 that's ironically better, but it is, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll give it the flowers it deserves for the next few minutes. It's going to change in a week, but whatever. It's fine. But still, let me know, what did I do wrong? What did I mess up in this list? You can listen to the episodes I mentioned in this episode where I talk about these films a little bit more in depth and gave some more love to them. Before I go, I really should also just say thank you if you happen to have given me a happy birthday. I really did appreciate it. Movies definitely do, I think, make my life worth living. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And this podcast is a very, weird kind of creative outlet that I really do enjoy doing to express my love of those films as well. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you to Christopher Nolan, also Denis Villeneuve, for letting me come on here and give you guys some free glaze every week. I really do appreciate that. And until next time, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more films. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.